On the evening of November 10th, 2016, residents in Sydney's southwest were preparing for an ordinary night. Then the gunshots rang out. Multiple shots echoed through a normally quiet Earlwood street, sending neighbors rushing toward their windows in shock. Within minutes, emergency services flooded the area. Parked near the curb sat a black Mercedes riddled with bullets. Inside the vehicle was one of Sydney's most controversial underworld identities, Pasquale Barbaro. To some people, he was a well-connected, organized crime figure, tied to powerful underworld networks operating across Australia. To others, he was a man obsessed with image, someone who enjoyed the appearance of power more than the reality of it. But regardless of opinion, one thing was undeniable. Pasquale Barbaro had become one of the most talked-about names in Sydney's gangland circles. And by 2016, rumors, deaths, violence, and suspicion had started building around him from every direction. Because in Australia's underworld, reputation is everything. And once people begin questioning your loyalty, survival becomes very difficult. This is the story of Pasquale Barbaro, the man the media would eventually label the Pretty Boy Gangster, a name that already carried weight. Long before Pasquale Barbaro became known publicly, the Barbaro surname already held significance within Australian organized crime investigations. For decades, various members of the extended Barbaro family had attracted the attention of police, anti-organized crime detectives, and intelligence agencies. The family had repeatedly surfaced in investigations connected to alleged Calabrian organized crime networks operating across Australia. Authorities linked various figures connected to the family to large-scale cannabis cultivation, cocaine trafficking, money laundering, and organized criminal operations stretching across multiple states. Not every allegation resulted in convictions, but in the eyes of Australian law enforcement, the Barbaro name had become deeply associated with organized crime. And in Sydney's underworld, names matter, reputation matters, connections matter. Pasquale understood that from an early age. Unlike traditional old-school organized crime figures who operated quietly and avoided public attention, Pasquale appeared comfortable being seen. Over time, he carefully built an image around himself that became impossible to ignore. Luxury European cars, designer clothing, jewelry and nightlife, tattoos, high-end apartments, women, money. He projected the image of a successful modern gangster, and eventually people became fascinated by him. The image of a modern underworld figure. By the early 2000s, Pasquale Barbaro had become a recognized personality within Sydney's underworld circles. People who knew him personally often described him as charismatic, social, and highly confident. He reportedly had the ability to build relationships easily and move comfortably between different criminal circles. But not everyone viewed him positively. Critics believe Pasquale became overly focused on image and status. Some former underworld figures later claimed he enjoyed attention too much. That criticism became more serious because traditional organized crime figures in Australia usually avoid publicity entirely. Visibility creates police attention, and police attention creates problems. Still, despite the criticism, very few people denied that Pasquale associated with serious criminals. According to police investigations and media reporting, authorities believed he operated around organized drug importation and distribution networks connected to Sydney and Melbourne. Investigators also suspected the lavish lifestyle he displayed publicly was funded through criminal activity and long-standing underworld relationships. But it wasn't just his own reputation attracting attention. It was also the men surrounding him. Big cash and underworld connections. One of the most recognized figures associated with Pasquale Barbaro was Big Cash. Before becoming known publicly through social media and professional boxing, Big Cash had already developed a reputation as a hardened underworld figure, with prison experience and violent connections. He had previously been linked to outlaw motorcycle club circles and was widely viewed as someone capable of handling himself physically. At one point, Pasquale and Big Cash appeared extremely close. The pair were regularly seen together, and many observers considered them part of the same underworld crew. According to stories later discussed by former criminals online, some people believe Big Cash provided Pasquale with credibility and protection within dangerous criminal environments. But like many relationships in organized crime, things eventually deteriorated. And according to multiple underworld accounts, money allegedly played a major role in the fallout. Money, debts, and tension. As Pasquale's profile continued growing, stories about financial disputes also started circulating through Sydney's underworld. Former criminals and underworld commentators later claimed Pasquale became involved in multiple disagreements involving unpaid debts, collapsed business arrangements, and borrowed money. Some people described him as ambitious and genuinely connected. Others claimed he constantly overextended himself financially while trying to maintain an extremely expensive lifestyle. And in organized crime circles, financial pressure quickly becomes dangerous because criminal debts are rarely settled legally. Violence, intimidation, and retaliation become part of the equation. Over time, tension reportedly started building around Pasquale from multiple directions. Some associates allegedly became cautious around him. Others reportedly stopped trusting him altogether. And then came the rumors that would permanently damage his reputation, the informant allegations. Within Australia's criminal underworld, few accusations are more dangerous than being labeled a police informant. Once those rumors begin spreading, paranoia follows immediately. Eventually, stories started circulating through prisons, gang networks, and organized crime circles claiming Pasquale Barbaro had provided information to police. And some people claimed paperwork existed proving the allegations. Others insisted underworld figures had personally seen evidence. Former criminals later discussed the rumors publicly through interviews, podcasts, and social media platforms. But importantly, no definitive public evidence ever conclusively proved Pasquale Barbaro acted as a police informant. People close to him strongly denied the allegations. Some documents circulating online were later described as fake or unreliable. But by that point, the damage had already been done. Because within organized crime, ambition alone can destroy relationships. Once questions begin surrounding someone's loyalty, people start distancing themselves. Conversations change, associates become nervous, trust disappears, and for Pasquale Barbaro, the rumors only intensified existing tensions already surrounding him. The world around him becomes more dangerous. By 2016, Pasquale had become one of the most divisive figures in Sydney's underworld. Some people remained loyal to him, others openly distrusted him. At the same time, he continued associating with extremely dangerous individuals connected to organized crime and gang violence. One major figure strongly linked to Pasquale was Farhad Kaumi, the former Brothers for Life chapter leader associated with Sydney's violent gang war years. Kaumi's name became heavily connected to shootings, intimidation, and organized criminal violence. His relationship with Pasquale reinforced police suspicions that Pasquale wasn't simply socializing with low-level criminals. He was operating around serious organized crime figures, and eventually, the pressure surrounding him reached breaking point. The assassination, November 2016, Earlwood, Sydney. What looked like another quiet suburban evening quickly turned into a gangland crime scene. According to investigators, the attack on Pasquale Barbaro was carefully planned. Police later alleged the offenders conducted extensive surveillance before carrying out the murder. This wasn't spontaneous violence. It was a targeted underworld execution. Court proceedings later established that the murder squad responsible was allegedly led by Abuzar Sultani, a former accounting student who became one of Sydney's most feared contract killers. According to prosecutors, Pasquale had just left a residence in Earlwood when a stolen Audi pulled alongside his Mercedes. Moments later, gunfire erupted. Multiple shots were fired at close range. By the time emergency crews arrived, Pasquale Barbaro was dead. The murder immediately triggered major media attention across Australia. Police and prosecutors later alleged the motive involved revenge connected to earlier gangland conflicts and murders. Authorities would eventually tie the same crew to multiple underworld killings across Sydney. Several offenders later received life sentences. But even after the convictions, many people believe Pasquale's murder was the result of multiple problems colliding at once. The debts, the rumors, the underworld politics, the damaged trust, everything surrounding him had gradually made him vulnerable. The funeral that surprised people. One detail that surprised many observers after the assassination was Pasquale Barbaro's funeral. For someone so widely known within Sydney's underworld, the funeral was unusually quiet. In Australia's gangland culture, funerals often become massive public displays involving luxury vehicles, media helicopters, floral tributes, and major criminal identities appearing publicly. But Pasquale's funeral felt very different. Attendance remained mostly limited to close friends and family. There was no major public display of underworld power, and many people noticed immediately. Some believed it reflected how divided opinions surrounding Pasquale had become before his death. Others believed associates simply wanted to avoid police scrutiny connected to the murder investigation. Either way, the smaller funeral stood out, and it added even more mystery to an already controversial story. Years after his death, people are still debating who Pasquale Barbaro really was. A genuine, organized crime figure with powerful connections? A man protected by a feared family reputation? Or someone who became trapped inside the image he created for himself? That contradiction is exactly why his story continues attracting attention within Australia's true crime world. Because Pasquale Barbaro represented both sides of the gangster lifestyle: the money, the luxury, the influence, the status, but also the paranoia, the violence, the betrayal, and the reality that in organized crime, reputation can become fatal. Whatever the full truth may be, the Pretty Boy Gangster left a permanent mark on Sydney's underworld. What are your thoughts on this case? Let us know in the comments below, and don't forget to subscribe to the channel for more real crime videos.